Training your back is a crucial component of a well-rounded fitness routine. It's not about aesthetics only, it's about health. Your back muscles support your frame and help you stand up and sit up straight. Developing a stronger back forms the foundation for a healthy spine and a robust, strong body. Most rowing movements that specifically target the back will also help us extend and straighten our bodies. If I had to do only one training in the gym and I wanted to prioritize my physical health, that's probably going to be posterior chain training. So posterior chain is comprised of all the muscles that you have on the back portion of your body. We can split it in two parts. That's the posterior part of the legs, which are glutes, calves, hamstrings, and all your back muscles from the upper body. Today, we're going to talk back training. So back training is pretty simple. Basically, all exercises that include some sort of rowing where you pull weights towards your body are going to develop the muscles of your back. To make it simpler, let's split it into two parts. You have the vertical pulling option, which targets your latissimus dorsi, one of the largest muscles in the body and definitely the largest on the back. And you have the horizontal pulling, which sort of targets the muscles that are more in the center, like rhomboids and trapezoid muscle. I'll share my top 4 exercises for building a healthy and strong back. First, let's check out some quick anatomy. The back has numerous superficial and deep muscles. There are smaller muscles underneath the large ones, but the main ones that make up the bulk of the back are the trapezoid muscle split into upper, mid, and lower traps, the largest rowing muscle, latissimus dorsi, the rhomboid major and minor muscle underneath the traps, the posterior deltoid, back of the shoulder muscle, and the erector spinae and other core stabilizers. But why do we want a stronger back at all? The gist of it is that strengthening your back muscles will allow you to squeeze your shoulder blades together, thus opening the chest and improving posture. The reason why you want this is because a lot of sitters have poor kyphotic posture, which leads to numerous issues from like pain, discomfort, and tightness in your neck, upper back, and numerous other health issues. So stronger back keeps our spine aligned, it corrects our posture, and also relieves pressure on the spine. So let me explain. Anytime you do any sort of standing, jumping, walking up the stairs, throwing, twisting, if you have a stronger back, your muscles are going to take more of that pressure and less of it is going to fall onto your vertebrae and your spine, thus lessening the risk of injury, reducing discomfort and potential problems in the spine. Stronger back also improves postural awareness, it improves confidence and well-being. It just makes you feel better in your body, just makes you feel stronger. And all of this translates when you're doing big compound lifts like the deadlifts or the squats, where your back can really squeeze up and tighten so it can take all of that pressure. You're basically stronger. The first exercise on our list, and probably the most basic and important exercise for your back, is the lat pull-down. It is a compound exercise that incorporates a very large musculature of your back. It is the vertical type of pull-in where you pull the weight towards your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together. This targets the latissimus dorsi muscle, the biggest rowing muscle that you have. It's just like the pull-up, but the problem with pull-ups is for people who don't have tight core and cannot do 8 or 10 pull-ups, pull-ups are going to be less convenient to train for hypertrophy because you're going to want a slightly more isolated and controlled type of exercise where you can actually modify the weight to it. Whereas in pull-ups, you're just lifting your body weight. Reach up to grab the bar with a wide overhand grip, hands slightly wider than shoulder width. Sit down, pulling the bar back with you. Slightly bend backwards so you slightly extend your hips greater than 90 degrees. Slowly pull the bar down towards your chest while keeping your back straight and your chest up. Squeeze them shoulder blades together as you bring the bar down. Slowly release the bar back up to the starting position, maintaining control. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Second exercise is the bent over row, which requires really a perfect technique. So in the bent over row, you never want to shift your weight too much forward or drag the bar too much forward, because as it is done in a hip hinging position, it could put a lot of pressure on your spine if you don't do it correctly. So the weight should be as close to your body and touching your quads and knees, and then you slowly pull the weight back up. This is one of my favorite exercises because it really targets almost all back muscles that you have, from traps, rhomboids, latissimus dorsi, erectors. It just does everything. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, holding a barbell or dumbbells in front of your thighs. Hinge at your hips to bend forward at about 45-degree angle, keeping your back straight. Pull the weights toward your lower rib cage by bending your elbows. Squeeze your shoulder blades together at the top of the movement. Lower the weights back down with control. Do 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. The third one is unilateral row. Now it sounds simple, but it's not the one where you just get seated and do unilateral rows like that. But we're doing it in a lunging position where we also including our obliques muscles, slightly rotating, and adding scapular stabilization and explosiveness to the mix. It's one of the complex multifunctional exercises that I started incorporating in my and my clients' training, and I am starting to see real results. It basically tackles a lot of the weak points we have in our usual movement patterns, from like core stabilization and rotation to being a little bit more explosive and tightening up that shoulder blade back, sort of locking it in place so we stabilize the scapula in a way. It is definitely a more rare version of the unilateral rows I've heard of because it sort of uses the full kinetic chain. Just as you would move if you had a very heavy door you needed to open up, you wouldn't just go and grab it like this, but you go and try to use your full body to sort of twist and extend and pull the shoulder back. Standing in a lunge position, slightly bend your knees. Weight is equally distributed on the right and left foot. Grip the handlebar and step 2 steps back. From here, lower your shoulder down, open your chest up, and start the movement using your lateral abdominals to rotate. Continue the movement by pulling the cable toward your chest, and at the end, squeeze your abdominal shoulder blade back. Lock it up at the end and wait for a second. Once you learn the movement, you can start performing a more explosive reps, pull it a bit faster and lock your scapula back, squeeze tight and control it. Do 2 sets of 12 more explosive repetitions with 1 second holds. Fourth, we have the seated horizontal row. This is the typical back exercise for hypertrophy, which teaches you the same things. Extend your back, retract your scapula back, and activate those shoulder blades and all the muscles in the back. If you grip the bar a bit narrower, you will target more muscles that are in the center, so rhomboids and traps, while if you grip it a little bit wider, you're going to target the side muscles like the latissimus dorsi again. Adjust the cable and handle height to match your chest height. Get seated, pull the cable and retract your shoulder blades back. Start rowing by pulling the weight back. Bring in the handle as close to your chest as possible. Squeeze the shoulder blades tight and relax back, extending your arms forward. Do 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions in a slow and controlled manner. Feel the back. And before you comment down below that I don't have a huge back, it's probably because I don't eat as many calories as I should, and because I don't train with as high volume for muscle mass, because that's not one of my priorities. But feel free to comment if you feel like that, because that just helps the YouTube algorithm shove this video so I can grow not just my back, but my subscribers as well. Oh, that was a lot. So for recap, training your back is quite essential for healthy spine, better posture, more confidence, and also to address numerous issues that people who tend to sit a lot have. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, fitness enthusiast, skinny, big, whatever it is, training your back and posterior chain in general is essential to your physical health. So our top 4 exercises for today, quick recap, include the lat pull-down, the unilateral horizontal row, the seated rowing, and What was the second one? I forgot. Bent over row, which must be done with a correct technique. That's all. Have fun. Hope I'll see you with a bigger, more defined back next time. I'll sign out here. Bye.